Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. I appreciate everybody that watches my content. I appreciate everybody that subscribes as well to my content. Yeah, let's talk about the game. It was Bafana Bafana going up against Zambia, and Bafana winning that one 3-1. Yes, 3-1. Overall, there was a lot of positives to take. That's the one thing I could say. There was a lot of positives to take with regards to this game. Um, Obviously, in terms of fluidness, it could have been a lot better. But the analysts at halftime, in terms of Darren Buckley and as well as Tom Buchanan, were talking about the pitch and the way it was. When I looked at the pitch, I didn't necessarily think it was that bad. But of course, they're former footballers. They've done it at the highest level. So it must have been a factor because it was a little bit cagey at the start. The ball's there, the ball's here, the ball's there, the ball's here. But the one thing I liked that I saw with regards to today's performance is once it settled, like once it started to settle, you started to see Bafana having to take control of the game. You started to see Bafana having to sort of stop Zambia's threats as well. I think in the first half, Zambia had no shots at all. Never mind on target. They didn't even have any goal attempts. And they kept on targeting the right-hand side. And maybe that's where their pacey players were. But I just thought, like, man, I don't know if you know, there's someone called Mudau that's there. Like, it's not easy to sort of get past a player of that nature. And eventually when they started combining the first goal, I loved it. Mudau, Stole, what's his thing? Mudau, Stole, Mbule, and then Apollos, having to find Apollos within that space. Lau Foster having to make the run, brilliant. Lau Foster makes the run. There's Apollos there, and he finishes it off, which was like really good. But even in the first 5 minutes of that first half, let's be honest, Zambia could have had a player sent off because that was a dangerous challenge. Having to go 2-footed like that, like and the referee, I'm thinking referee, and I mean, can you at least do your job with regards to this one? But that's the one thing I liked, and also in the middle of the park, Stolle as well and Mokoena, they're combining really well, and I like how Hugo Bruce as well. It doesn't matter if it's like Sitole, if it's an Obas, but he always likes to have. There was a couple pet, but that was a while ago, of course. But like he obviously likes to have one anchor, and he's got the other player who's sort of able to make those passes in terms of Mokoena. And even what I also noticed the most as well was how teams respect Bafana Bafana a lot. I was just because I'll go back to like the time when we used to play Zambia. Remember when Bo Isaac Chansa were there? You know, like those times, man, when Bo Isaac Chansa, Bo Mbesuma were there was a level of like Zambia were dominating us. They absolutely were. But in today's game, they're sitting back. They're playing on the counter. And Bafana dealt with that really well because Mokoena is able to find those passes in between the lines. They're able to find the balls over the top as well because Moremi is making the run, or Paulus is making the run. Hey, there's Mbule who's right there. You can pass him as well. And even when you pass him, he's able to find those channels within the runners that run in behind him. So that was like really good to see. And now also being able to see a side that teams are now starting to respect when they play, starting to respect. We got to touch Sipho Mbule, guys. Sipho Mbule, what more can I say about this guy? Because I talked about, I mean, I speak about him having to be a redemption story because if you had asked me a couple of years ago, would have Sipho Mbule been anywhere near Bafana Bafana, I would have said no. I would have said no. Remember there was those conversations about who is going to replace Themba Zwane. We don't know who's going to replace Themba Zwane. You know, like Themba Zwane is the guy, right? And he was getting those injuries and he's getting on as well and he's hardly on the pitch as well. And you're starting to see that and you're sort of wondering, who is it going to be? I never thought we'd be talking about Sipho Mbule. And we talk about redemption story. There was those reports when he left SuperSport. There was those reports when he left SuperSport and he went to Mamelodi Sundowns. Didn't work out the way he would have liked. Sekune was a better performance, but even with that, they sent him back to Mamelodi Sundowns. It wasn't really looking good with regards to Sipho Mbule. But now he goes to Orlando Pirates and they're giving him the opportunity. And now Hugo Bush is seeing him and he's giving him his chance. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, wow, Mbule, at this current moment, as it stands, right now, whatever November, the time that it is, 5 p.m., that position is Mbule's. That position is Mbule's. He starts at AFCON. By the looks of it, he's the number 10. He's the creator. And he's done really well with these World Cup qualifiers. and as well as him in today's game. The way that he creates the first goal, the way that he also creates the second one as well, having to find Mohamed Kota who's running in behind. I mean, that's the stuff Master Chef can do. The interesting thing is you can tell he's not a Themba Zwane type of a number 10, but he offers something a little bit different. And also he's not dropping deep. I like that too. His passes a lot more forward. I like that too. So at this current moment, as it stands, I think Mbule is the 10. He's the guy. He's definitely the guy. Of course, I've mentioned that Lodge would have definitely added, but the Lodge thing, I said my piece, it's done. But Mbule, it's looking like it's his position. The second half was very interesting because the changes that were made. I think Sipho China came in as well. Talent Mbata came in as well. There was one more sub that was made. Apollos came off. He came off on Goda. Yes, he came off on Goda. And you could tell the fluidness was just not there necessarily. And we were sort of defending and long balls were coming in. And aerially, we have to deal with that. I have to be honest, we have to deal with that because I feel like it's becoming a trend now in terms of the balls having to be in the air. So we have to deal with that better. And we cleared the ball out where we needed to clear it out. But what was very key for me was when Bafana need to turn it on, they can absolutely turn it on. Because Nkota comes in, he makes the run on the wing, and of course Mbule finds him, he scores the goal. And one thing I like about Nkota as well as a player, how direct he's becoming. He's very direct, guys. Like he's now direct in a sense of something's gonna happen down the bar line. Like this guy's gonna make the run, and then something's gonna happen. There's gonna be a cross that's gonna come in, or there's gonna be a shot that's gonna come in, or he's going to create something, or he's going to score, and he's going to That's what he's going to do. So I like the directness that is happening with him because, like, he's a type of winger that you're just like, probably at the end of the season, you look at his numbers and say, oh, he had so many goals, or oh, he had so many assists. He gets there. He's not trying to be like all showy and try to do all these fancy style things and all that. He gets down the line. He tries to make something happen. And that's the directness that he's having. But that's also the Bafana having to turn it on, and that's what they do, having to be clinical as well, or very clinical. Stoll having to be headed in as well, and Gota having to create that. So having to see Stoller scoring as well, putting the game away, I thought it was done necessarily. And also when you look at it, Bafana didn't necessarily have to be at the pelters to win this thing. And that was also the brilliant beauty of it. Changes being made, not having to be at like 100%, you would say, and that was a good thing. There's one downer that I have to add. I wrote it down here. There's one downer, and it's becoming a little bit of a trend. I'm not trying to like spot a spotlight on it in a very bad way, but it's something that I'm just like, something needs to happen here. Lau Foster. Guys, what do you guys think about Lau Foster? I think Lau Foster is a brilliant striker. I really think he's a very good striker. If you're playing in the Premier League, you can't be a better of a striker. The problem that I have here is that I don't know if it's connecting. I don't know if it's connecting like that. I don't know if it's coming together like that. I don't know. And that's the worry for me, is that it's not coming together. It's not linking up. The players are not linking up necessarily together with him. It's just not, it doesn't look like it's working. And one of the things I always have about Lau Foster is he needs a big performance. Guys, Lau Foster needs a big performance, guys. Yeah, I know. Lau Foster needs a big performance for Bafana. And then maybe a consistent run of performances. When you look at the likes of what Drogba did for Ivory Coast, what Eto'o did for Cameroon, what Victor Osimhen is doing for Nigeria, he needs to have those sort of type of performances. And yes, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We had a lot of the ball and there were spaces that to be had. But I just feel like it's been going on for such a long time where I'm just like, I'm waiting for Lau Foster to kick it off for us. And his stats actually are not so bad for Bafana. But I'm not watching him just based on stats. I watch him and just think, something is just not connecting. I don't know what it is. When Mahopa's playing, he might not score a lot of goals either, but it's more fluid in some sense. When Ikram Reyners is playing, I feel like we're more of a threat. So the Lau Foster thing is with the striker that pedigree and playing in the best league in the world, arguably, he needs to play. But we need to find the cohesion there. It needs to happen some kind of way. So I think that's the one down I would probably say with regards to this game. But not only just this game, just watching him over the last year and just thinking, I don't know. That part is not connecting in the way I would like. Matuludi, great. He's a replacement for Kulisa Madao. That right back is looking lovely. The centre backs are looking lovely. The goalkeeper is great. The midfield is looking great. The wingers are doing on point. But that part of the pitch, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But let me know what you guys think. Tell me in the comments. And then finally, I think this AFCON is going to be a lot different. And a lot different in the sense that teams respect us. Teams, I wouldn't say they fear us, but they respect us. They know we carry a threat. They know we can be a weapon. We've got weapons. We can score goals, and that's the thing where I'm just like, we go into this AFCON differently to the last one. Where last one teams were saying, we're going to get 3 points there, and they were not able to get 3 points. But now we go into this AFCON being like, hey, this team can beat us as well. This team has got weapons. Yes, the majority of them play in the PSL, but hey, look what they did the last time. Look what they've been doing in these World Cup qualifiers. So teams will respect us more. That's what I feel. Teams will sit back a lot more. That's what I feel. That's why we have to sort of manage the expectation in terms of what we can do. Do I believe Bafana can win the AFCON? Yes, I believe they can win the AFCON. I believe they can go toe to toe because I've seen this team fight. I've seen this team play beautiful football. I've seen this team play on the counter. I've seen this team play in a various of ways where I'm just like, okay, whatever the game throws at us, we can play it. That's for sure. But the only difference is the last time people were expecting to beat us, but now this time teams are just going to be more prepared for a fight, and we have to get ready for that. But let me know what you guys think. I think we'll go very far. Please subscribe. Appreciate everybody that watches this content, and a lot more is coming. Next video, I'm going to put the 15 players that I feel is guaranteed to go to the AFCON, and let me know what you guys think.